with the kind sponsorship of the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, providing opportunity, stability, and social protection.
I've been hearing about this constitutional reform thing. You know anything about it?
Yes, constitutional reform is a chance for us to Jamaicanize the constitution.
But how?
Enough things changed since 1962 and we've matured as a nation. So modernizing the constitution will reflect our current societal values.
Oh, a constitution for Jamaicans, approved by Jamaicans.
Are you ready for the journey? Join us on the road to Republic. Think independence, think Republic. A message from the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs.
NIS pensioners, avoid the wait. Get your NIS pension straight to your bank account. It's easy. Simply visit the Ministry of Labor and Social Security's website, mlss.gov.jm, or the nearest NIS office and collect the direct deposit application form. Then complete the form and submit it along with supporting documents to the NIS office nearest you. Avoid crowds and long lines. Get your money when you want it. The National Insurance Scheme, always working for you.
Listeners to Love 101 FM are advised that the views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of Love 101 FM.
Hello and welcome to the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM. I'm your host, Toussaint. A special welcome to our listeners on love101.org, and if you're overseas or on the move, US listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you're in the UK, 0330-322-6541, or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also join us on Love 101 FM Facebook and YouTube Live. In the first watch today, SOEs are still being questioned. Why? And in the second watch, a look at autism and the autistic community. For our social media question, we ask, why are SOEs still a source of divisiveness among us? Please share your responses on our Love 101 FM Facebook page and the YouTube channel. And also on WhatsApp 876-997-3125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. Please share your responses later on in the program, but before all of that, here's our quote.
Good morning, good morning. Today's I quote says, religious freedom is what sends people to hell. And this is from John MacArthur.
Hey, good morning, Joker.
Good morning.
How are things your end?
Things are going well. Things are going good so far, yes.
Great. You know, I have a little difficulty with that quotation, you know.
Yeah, same here.
I don't agree with it. I think it's ungodly choices that we make that send us to him.
I agree.
Yeah, in fact, I am thankful for religious freedom. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's it. I agree with that.
We need to tweak that a little bit. The first watch will be back after this break.
Love 101, the family station, invites you to Take Time Drive. You can hear reminders and tips on why you should take time drive. Take Time Drive, a bulletin of the road safety tips to help you keep safe and your head sound while driving. You only have one life. Drive it well. Take Time Drive on the family station, Love 101.
Oh, this is how we do it.
Here is your opportunity to connect with someone who will listen, pray, and give guidance. It's the Ministry of Counseling and Prayer of the Edgewater Baptist Church. Please call 876-220-6474 or 876-332-7956. Weekdays between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Please talk to someone if you find finding it particularly challenging to cope during this period of crisis, someone is waiting for your call. Please reach out today, 876-220-6474 or 876-332-7956. It's the telephone counseling and prayer ministry of the Edgewater Baptist Church. A reminder that somebody cares. Endorsed by Love 101.
When I come to the end of myself, Father, carry me.
Here's why you can't afford to miss the Morning Watch.
I love listening to the Morning Watch because topics are discussed and issues are highlighted that are of major importance, which in turn edify me.
The Morning Watch, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
I like listening to the Morning Watch. I find it very informative. I find it very interesting. The topics that are covered are very, very wide.
The Morning Watch, thought-provoking, insightful, current. Listen for the probing questions with Attorney at Law Stokely Marshall and the in-depth discussion with Reverend Dr. Darlin Toussaint. The Morning Watch, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. The Morning Watch is on the family station Love 101.
Years of music, family, 30 years of love. We're celebrating 30 years of music, family, 30 years of love. We're celebrating 30 years of love. We're celebrating 30 years of love.
Love 101, the family station, invites you to Take Time Drive. You can hear reminders and tips on why you should take time drive. Take Time Drive, a version of the road safety tips to help you keep safe and your head sound while driving. You only have one life. Drive it well. Take Time Drive on the family station, Love 101.
So this is how we do it.
Hello there. This and every Thursday at 6:50 p.m., listen out as Sultan Toussaint shares and connects persons with needs to those who want to help. And if you can help, then please be sure to call the team at Hello Neighbor at 876-334-8165 or email helloneighbor@yahoo.com. That's Hello Neighbor. This and every Thursday at 6:50 p.m. Hello Neighbor, giving what we can to help those we can. It's the Hello Neighbor way, the Bible way. It's all live on the family station, Love 101, the #1 gospel station in the nation.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. The SOE, imposed in St. James earlier this month, is the latest of many that has been routinely condemned in some quarters. Why then does the government consistently pull for that measure to fight crime? And why the pushback when the authorities declare successes with the use of the strategy? Well, to answer these and other related questions, we have online the Reverend Dr. Ralston Nemard, Anglican priest, author, columnist, and Pastor Silburn Carr, pastor of the Abundant Life Christian Church. Good morning to you both.
Dylan, and good morning. Good morning to your listeners.
Good morning, listeners.
Great. Yes. All right, gentlemen, what are your respective understandings of when and how states of emergency should be legally used in Jamaica? Beginning with you, Pastor Carr.
My understanding is that
it should be used as a tool to help to control situations in the country that cannot be controlled using the normal laws available. So when there are outbreaks or outbursts of violent activity, murders, gang activity, disturbance in the areas, violent activities, then the government will impose a curfew over and a SOE over specific geographical areas to help the security forces to cauterize the situation and to bring some sort of normalcy. My understanding.
Reverend Dr. Lemar, what's your take?
Yes, the concept that the government has, that you have to, each time there's a flare up of violence in any part of the country, then you have to enforce this kind of measure. And what I think it is becoming is that it is a bit too frequent for the purposes that are intended. And states of emergency were never intended to be this frequent. As a matter of fact, they should be as rare as hen's teeth. and yet we find them being applied every time there's a flare up throughout the country. And I think this tends to nullify the efficacy of these emergencies, and when they're really needed. But then,
Back to my question, though, Reverend Nemar, and I'm pressing it. Yes. How should it be legally used? What's your understanding?
well, my understanding is that the states of emergency should only be used as the Constitution intended them. Whenever the country is in a state of real emergency. And one could argue that the kind of crime that we have in Jamaica to now, tends to call for that kind of definition. But they were never intended, in my view, to be used that often. In every country where there is any definition of a state of emergency, you talk about a country in heightened crisis. And that's why they are applied rarely and not as frequently as we are doing in fighting crime.
Pastor Carr, are we in a state of emergency?
In a sense, yes. One could argue that in terms of the level of murders and violent crimes. So although Reverend Nemad has a point, but we seem to be in a constant state of emergency, hence the use of the measure. Although there are weaknesses involved in it, there are also strength, because it's the only situation where a police can stop and search and detain without the necessary legal requirements under the Constitution. So we give up some of our right to achieve some benefits. Although there are criticism about it, I believe that it is useful to some extent, although it cannot be a long-term measure. And I think the government, we as a society, keep making the error of looking at crime as a one, is like there are one reason why it happened. It is multifaceted. There's the spiritual side, the social side, the economic side, and all other sides.
Tell you what, Pastor Carl, we want to hear about the other sides. We're up on a break. Hold that thought, we'll be right back.
Okay.
Love 101, the family station, invites you to Take Time Drive. You can hear reminders and tips on why you should take time drive. Take Time Drive, a version of the road safety tips to help you keep safe and your head sound while driving. You only have one life. Drive it well. Take Time Drive on the family station, Love 101.
Oh, this is how we do it.
Here is your opportunity to connect with someone who will listen, pray, and give guidance. It's the Ministry of Counseling and Prayer of the Edgewater Baptist Church. Please call 876-220-6474 or 876-332-7956. Weekdays between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Please talk to someone if you're finding it particularly challenging to cope during this period of crisis. Someone is waiting for your call. Please reach out today. 876-220-6474 or 876-332-7956. It's the telephone counseling and prayer ministry of the Edgewater Baptist Church. A reminder that somebody cares. Endorsed by Love 101.
When I come to the end of myself, Father, carry me.
Remember every dream where you have, remember everything where you plan. With J&B, anything possible. With a little savings in your hand. Save so you can build the house, buy the land, walk clothes and dreams like a plan. Save so you can start the business, get a car. Block the trip you want to. Save so you can.
Living your best life and making memories is priceless. But saving little by little is what makes it affordable. Stop wishing you could. With your J&B Bank savings, you absolutely can.
Save so you can build the house, buy the land, walk clothes and dreams like a plan. Save so you can make the part, travel far, getting it like a star. Save so you can.
J&B Bank will help you find a way.
Christmas is togetherness. Flow is giving you their best. Christmas is special savings. That's just what Flow is bringing. Christmas is the joy of giving. Flow has just what you've been wishing. Oh, it's a celebration. Free phone and earbuds for you.
Get a free Samsung phone and earbuds when you sign up for Flow Yard and Road for only $4,999 plus GCT.
Flow makes Christmas bright and blue because it's all inspired by
Visit
you.
the Flow store to sign up today. Conditions apply.
Sagicor Bank proudly celebrates Global Entrepreneurship Week. Entrepreneurs are essential to the success of our economy. We're committed to providing the support they need.
Are you non-partisan, able to read and write well, and ready to serve your country? The Electoral Office of Jamaica is recruiting persons like you to become Election Day workers. Apply at the nearest EOJ constituency office without delay. Bring a valid ID and TRN. Election Day workers will be trained and compensated. Together, we can ensure free and fair elections.
NIS pensioners, avoid the wait. Get your NIS pension straight to your bank account. It's easy. Simply visit the Ministry of Labor and Social Security's website, mlss.gov.jm, or the nearest NIS office and collect the direct deposit application form. Then complete the form and submit it along with supporting documents to the NIS office nearest you. Avoid crowds and long lines. Get your money when you want it. The National Insurance Scheme, always working for you.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. Shop now in the spectacular Christmas sale at Home and Things. Make the season merry and bright with new tiles, bathroom fixtures, faucets, vanities, and shower stalls. Or deck the walls with lighting, home decor, plus so much more. Jingle all the way home with incredible prices and unbeatable deals in the spectacular Christmas sale at Home and Things. Old Hope Road and Constant Spring Road. 'Tis the season to shop at Home and Things.
Once upon a time, there was a girl named Kay. She loved to dance and play. One day at school, she got very ill, and Mom was left with an unbearable bill. It would be easier if Mom was prepared. With School Companion, 80% of the bill is cleared. Medical care for children is a must for as low as $2,400 per month. Make unbearable medical bills go away. Sign up for Sagicor School Companion today.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. And in this, the first watch, we're having an interesting discussion in regards to the SOEs. Why are they still being questioned? In so doing, we have online Pastor Sylvan Carr, pastor of the Abundant Life Christian Church, and the Reverend Dr. Ralston Nimard, Anglican priest, author, and columnist. Before the break, Pastor Carr, you were telling us about going to the spiritual dimension. But before you do, I think you said that we are in a constant state of emergency. What therefore constitutes an emergency, Pastor Carr? Is it two murders in a community? 3 murders? What is it constitutes an emergency in this case?
I would say that there's a constant state of unequal society and a lot of feeling of safety, and therefore the kind of life the normal state we used to. Because if almost, well, maybe half of the people, there are constant violent activities, not just 1 or 2 murders, but there are always activities, gang activities, rapes, up. So there's a constant unease in the society. It's hard to get used to it. But recently I was looking at murder rates in the world, and we are the second first, 400,000. So if that is not a state of constant emergency, I don't know what else is.
So we'll always be in an SOE situation, though, based on what you are saying.
I was suggesting that we need to look at the solution to crime in a holistic way. It's like trying to hit a tree and cut it over. I believe there are spiritual issues that is the heart of man. There are social issues, there are economic issues, and there are other issues that are involved with it. Values, attitude, all those things. So all the stakeholders need to come to the table so we can solve it. Oftentimes, crimes are usually tried to be solved without the church. I mean, I'm a part of the bias here, but spiritual input a lot of the time to this, which I believe is unfortunate. Sometimes the church seems to be an afterthought. What we are doing at church, so let us ask it to be the first thing.
Okay, hearing you loud and clear. Reverend Nimard, your response, your thoughts on that?
All right. Let me just clarify that I am not opposed to states of emergency carte blanche. You know, to say that they are not necessary whenever we have criminal activity. If there's a flare-up, probably a state of emergency can be applied at a particular time, to suppress violence in a particular community. But what I'm concerned about is the continued use of it. Having said that, there is a legislation that is going through the parliament, and that has been languishing for some time, called the Enhanced Security Measures Act.
Right.
And this was intended to correct some of the anomalies that we are seeing in the frequent use of the states of emergency. And my question is, why is it that the government has not moved with more alacrity in getting this act through the parliament? If we believe that we are in such a crisis and an emergency, that we have to be applying emergency powers that were guaranteed by the Constitution, why is it that we cannot get this act through the parliament so that we can have the enhanced measures that can be used almost similarly to what we have in a state of emergency, and use these enhanced powers to deal with the crime situation? Why is it that we have to be using states of emergency as a crime fighting tool The very principle is inimical to what the Constitution intended.
Maybe, Reverend Menard, because a veteran politician once said, desperate times require desperate measures.
But desperate all the time like that. I mean, like my brother is saying, brother Carl is saying. I mean, it is a multifaceted problem, and crime fighting is not something that you just do suppression of criminal violence in a particular community. Might be one response, but there are far more responses that have to be done. We like the what has been done in clearing, holding, and building in one of the legislation that we have on the books, and somehow those do not seem to be working because the social element of that kind of response has not been too robust in the communities either. It is a big problem, and you can't just say you're going to use a state of emergency each time you have a flare-up.
I think
this is illegal to what a state of emergency is, or ought to be.
I think part of the counter-argument, Reverend Nemard, is that Jamaica has been bleeding. And we need to cauterize the bleeding, and it's not yet cauterized before you deal.
But you're not going to cauterize it. You're not going to cauterize it each time it flares up. You just go with a suppressive element to it. You'll never cauterize it just by suppressing it. It is a long-term thing that has to be done. As my brother said, it's a multifaceted problem.
Agreed. Therefore, Pastor Carr, going forward, and then I'll throw it back to Reverend Nemard, what needs to be done in precise terms? What? Because people know about this already, the holistic approach.
Yeah.
Why is it we're not doing it?
I believe, see, as a country, we tend to look at short measures for everything. The roads, education, everything. We need to sit down and maybe look at like something like a 20-year plan to solve crime once and for all. So we look at the church, we look at the schools.
We change 2030 vision, Pastor Carr. Don't they have a 2030 vision already?
Yeah, but I'm not sure if they're really working it in a couple. If people on the ground that is happening, it can be a part of it. So it's right to write a document and say, okay, satisfy United Nations. But on the ground, I think the last time I checked, we were about 20% or 30%. We need to just stop talking things and just get on the ground and work things. They have economic side, the social side, the political side, the spiritual side. All of it need to come together.
Let me give Reverend Nemard the final word in a minute. Reverend Nemard.
All right. I think that the government again should really deal with the enhanced measures in that legislation that they have been pushing. That will take care of the emergency part of it, I think. And secondly, there is that talk about mental wellness and mental health situations. I remember the Prime Minister talking about the churches being involved or getting the churches involved in this. And I've not heard anything further said about it. But it has to be a community response. The crime takes place in communities, and the churches are the nearest to the communities. Why can't we involve all stakeholders and get the thing going? We chat a lot, but we do very little in terms of action. And the only action we seem to believe that is applicable is to try to suppress violence whenever it shows up in these communities. And yet the long-term sustained problem remains.
Well said, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Sorry I have to cut it off here, all right? Interesting discussion.
Thanks very much. Have a good day.
Yeah, man. Listeners, the Morning Watch will return in just a moment.
possible with a little savings in your hand.
The time by JM Bank is
7:30 a.m.
Here is your opportunity to connect with someone who will listen, pray, and give guidance. It's the Ministry of Counseling and Prayer of the Edgewater Baptist Church. Please call 876-220-6474 or 876-332-7956. Weekdays between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Please talk to someone if you're finding it particularly challenging to cope during this period of crisis. Someone is waiting for your call. Please reach out today. 876-220-6474 or 876-332-7956. It's the telephone counseling and prayer ministry of the Edgewater Baptist Church. A reminder that somebody cares. Endorsed by Love 101.
When I come to the end of myself, Father, carry me.
Of the follow great sardine, that a flavor. Great sardine with the chef and the beginner. Follow the one with pepper, that are the winner. Shop on supermarkets, everybody sell it. You all of them nice. Pass the part, me push it.
Great sardines, follow the better flavor.
Shake and burn. Shake and burn. Increase the tempo. Shake and burn. Don't you shut me on like that. Shake and burn. We are kick. Boy for boy, see the kick. Shake and burn. Try to delicious new flavors to go. Shake and burn.
PSOJ's Crime Stop Jamaica unsolved. 32-year-old Wesley Trench, sales rep, Carreras Group Limited, was stabbed to death at 2 a.m. Saturday, February 11, 2023 in Priory St. Anne near the traffic light. Citizens heard calls for help, but it wasn't until 5 a.m. that the body of Wesley Trench was found in a pool of blood beside his grey Hyundai Creta. Crime Stop and concerned family members are offering a total reward of $500,000 for information leading to an arrest on charge. Call Crime Stop Jamaica 311. Solving crime pays.
Call me shrewd. I am getting in when the markets are attractively priced.
Call me smart. I am getting set to capitalize when the markets have increased potential. Call me savvy. I have a mix of wise investments, so I'm earning no matter the season.
They're all investing in Sagicor Investments Sigma Global Funds, like our US dollar Sigma Global Equity and Sigma Real Growth. Never settle for less than your dreams. Start investing now in Sigma Global Funds. Call 888 Sagicor to speak with a Sagicor Investments Wealth Advisor. Conditions apply.
NIS pensioners, avoid the wait. Get your NIS pension straight to your bank account. It's easy. Simply visit the Ministry of Labor and Social Security's website, mlss.gov.jm, or the nearest NIS office and collect the direct deposit application form. Then complete the form and submit it along with supporting documents to the NIS office nearest you. Avoid crowds and long lines. Get your money when you want it. The National Insurance Scheme, always working for you.
From generation to generation, Jamaicans have depended on JM Bank to make the pride and joy of providing a safe place for their families possible. Now, with no processing fees and no down payment mortgage options, you can open the door to your own sweet home, a legacy to hand to your next generation. Visit jmbank.com to get pre-approved today. JM Bank will help you find a way.
Hello there. This and every Thursday at 6:50 p.m., listen out as Sultan Toussaint shares and connects persons with needs to those who want to help. And if you can help, then please be sure to call the team at Hello Neighbor at 876-334-8165 or email helloneighbor@yahoo.com. That's Hello Neighbor. This and every Thursday at 6:50 p.m. Hello Neighbor, giving what we can to help those we can. It's the Hello Neighbor way, the Bible way. It's all live on the family station, Love 101, the #1 gospel station in the nation.
welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Toussaint. Let's now look at the newspapers to see what Jamaicans and others are really saying and doing. In the Observer, Crab Circle to reopen by November 23. Really? In Loop News, we don't want to be a cheap labor destination, says the Prime Minister. And also in Loop News, Jamaica weather increased rainfall forecast for the rest of the week. In the Gleaner, JCF deepens bomb hoax probe, and also the mess that Halfway Tree Square is. Wow. Those are some of the major stories, headlines in our newspapers. Coming up next, we'll read some of the feedback from our social media questions. Why are SOEs still a source of divisiveness among us? We're asking you to leave a comment on our Facebook page and YouTube channel, Love 101 FM Jamaica, or WhatsApp 876-997-3125. Soon come back.
Here is your opportunity to connect with someone who will listen, pray, and give guidance. It's the Ministry of Counseling and Prayer of the Edgewater Baptist Church. Please call 876-220-6474 or 876-332-7956. Weekdays between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Please talk to someone if you're finding it particularly challenging to cope during this period of crisis. Someone is waiting for your call. Please reach out today. 876-220-6474 or 876-332-7956. It's the telephone counseling and prayer ministry of the Edgewater Baptist Church. A reminder that somebody cares. Endorsed by Love 101.
When I come to the end of myself, Father, carry me.
Whoa. Hello there. This and every Thursday at 6:50 p.m., listen out as Sultan Toussaint shares and connects persons with needs to those who want to help. And if you can help, then please be sure to call the team at Hello Neighbor at 876-334-8165 or email helloneighbor@yahoo.com. That's Hello Neighbor. This and every Thursday at 6:50 p.m. Hello Neighbor, giving what we can to help those we can. It's the Hello Neighbor way, the Bible way. It's on the family station, Love 101, the #1 gospel station in the nation.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Toussaint, and so now we segue into the second watch. Now, having a child that to the rest of the world seems insignificant cannot engender fond feelings and only adds to the challenges of the parents of children within the autism spectrum. How does our society treat our children with autism? Do we understand or even acknowledge the condition? And are the autistic relegated and lost in a forgotten community? Well, to talk about this and other related matters, we have joining us Mrs. Peter Gay Forbes Robinson, the parent of an autistic child, and Mrs. K. Price Robinson, also the parent of an autistic child. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, seems as if we only have Mrs. Price Robinson so far, and we'll go ahead until we have Mrs. Forbes Robinson. Okay, Mrs. Price Robinson, for the record, what really is autism?
Well, autism, also known as ASD, autism spectrum disorder, is a neurodevelopmental disability. Basically, the brain of the child operates differently. The pathways that are taken by people are different. They can get to the point, but they take a different route. So for them, they receive stimuli, they receive information in a different way, and they process it in very different and unique ways from the neurotypical child. And a neurotypical child is what we would call a normal child who does things the normal way. So it's basically just a developmental delay in most cases that results in social differences and processing of information differences as well.
Can you give us some specific examples, one or two, that will help us to even better understand?
Right. So children who are on the spectrum typically have trouble with social settings, socializing, picking up social cues. They may have speech delay. They don't typically hit the developmental milestones on time, so they don't walk on time. Or when I say on time, I mean within the given range of the neurotypical society. So they don't walk by they're expecting them by age 1. That may delay longer. Some take a longer time to talk. They may have digestive issues as well. One of the most common things is the fact that many of them cannot socialize. They don't engage. They don't give eye contact. They don't respond when they're spoken to. And generally, it's an issue of whether or not they are able to receive the information the way it is being presented to them. Right? They need a different way to be stimulated. So they may not play with their friends. They may want to have friends, but they don't know how to initiate those conversations or those interactions. And so it comes off as being very awkward. They may not refer to their parents by their names or close family members, people in the household. They may not talk at all in some cases, right? Some kids have to have therapy intervention to help to stimulate the development of speech. And, some of them have compulsive behavior that they present as behavior issues, especially as they get older and puberty starts and the hormone setting makes matters worse. But a lot of them, because they can't communicate the way they want to communicate, it comes out in communication and presenting their behavior. So they may have outbursts and meltdowns and tantrums and it just basically it's hard for them because they are trying, but they can't find a way to relay what they want to say or what they want to do in a neurotypical way, and it's frustrating for them as parents.
Stick up in right there, Mrs. Price Robinson, doing very well. We're up on a break. Soon be back.
Sure.
Sardine with the chef and the beginner. Follow the one with pepper, that are the winner. Shop on supermarkets, everybody
sardines, follow the better flavor.
The time is
7:45 a.m.
Come come on now. Ping pong chairs, they're so amazing, they're so good. Feed your craving, chocolate rich. You'll be craving more and more and more and more. Here comes the craze. Ping pong chairs, so good. Feed your cravings, you know you want to. Here comes the craze. This chocolate has got you. Real chocolate flavor. Charles chocolate, here comes the craze.
Looking to own a home and put down your roots? Join us at the Sagicor Bank Mortgage Boutique this Saturday, November 18, Duke and Tower Street branch, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Apply for your mortgage on location and get a competitive mortgage rate. 0.25% off commitment fee, on-site pre-qualification, $20,000 gift voucher for appliances, a Sagicor Bank Star Savers account with $5,000 for your child. Plus, on mortgage approval, you could be one of 3 winners of a patio set, living room set, or inverter AC with free installation. The Sagicor Bank Mortgage Boutique this Saturday, Duke and Tower Street branch, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58(3) of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Watch the trend, pick up the trend. This are the trend, we are the youth them. Watch the trend, pick up the trend. TREND. Pick up the trend for education, teachers and the students. A fully bright future, yes, that are the new trend. Better governance, partner with the parents. Follow the big trend, elevate the youth them. Improve the school's track performance, access and attendance. From infant, primary to university students. Turn up the skills training, proceed we again. Follow the big trend, elevate the schools. Yeah. Watch the trend, pick up the trend. This are the trend, we are the youth them. Watch the trend, pick up the trend. TREND. Promote technology, yes, and better planning. Quality education, that's what should be trending. From principals to EOs, everybody winning. Follow the ministry, changing the system. Watch the trend, pick up the trend.
This is Trend, Transforming Education for National Development, a program designed by the Ministry of Education and Youth to transform Jamaica's education system for a brighter tomorrow.
Call me shrewd. I am getting in when the markets are attractively priced.
Call me smart. I am getting set to capitalize when the markets have increased potential. Call me savvy. I have a mix of wise investments, so I'm earning no matter the season.
They're all investing in Sagicor Investments Sigma Global Funds, like our US dollar Sigma Global Equity and Sigma Green Growth. Never settle for less than your dreams. Start investing now in Sigma Global Funds. Call 888 Sagicor to speak with a Sagicor Investments Wealth Advisor. Conditions apply.
Do you have a heart condition? Your care should be in the hands of our experienced cardiovascular team at Partners Interventional Center of Jamaica. We're one of the leading heart centers for angiogram, stenting, pacemakers, CP studies, and ablation therapy. PICJ has the expertise and latest technology to treat all your heart needs. Call 876-995-7425 or email info@pic-jm.com for appointments. PICJ, your partners for life.
Jamaica and its workforce are advancing quickly. Life-changing opportunities are arising. You need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Toussaint. And in this, the second watch, we have been looking at the whole matter of autism and the autistic community. And so we have online, this is K. Simone Price Robinson, who has been doing a good job of, letting us know what autism is and some of the symptoms. Now, Mrs. Price Robinson had mentioned earlier about them not responding when they are spoken to. Now, I can imagine that may become an issue, especially at school and within the classroom.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Tell us more about that. Yeah, tell us more about that. How is that handled though?
All right. So a child who is not compliant and not responding at all, whether they are being rude, because they will not respond, but they're very calm and they're more introverted, and some will not respond and they're doing their own thing, like my son, and moving around and hyperactive. A lot of kids are generally impulsive and attention seeking or inattentive and hyperactive, and it may come off as them being rude in a classroom. Clearly, that's gonna be a distraction. So, for that child, intervention is definitely necessary. They would need ABA therapy, applied behavior analysis therapy, to help to work on their compliance. Right, so that's what I'm exploring with my son, and he has been improving, but it will also take effort from the parents at home and the teacher. So it's a holistic approach. You have to pull the teacher in, you have to pull the parents and the caregivers in, anybody who is in contact with that child, to reinforce the strategies of the ABA program, right? So you would need to be educated as caregivers and persons who are exposed to this individual, and that is where sometimes there's a challenge. And if that child has a shadow, that shadow needs to be sensitized on the strategies to manage that child's behavior as well, and discourage the impulsive tendencies, the hyperactivity. The hyperactivity may not necessarily be a bad thing, because sometimes it's how they stim, which is something that they do to calm themselves. It is one of the repetitive things that they do. Autistic kids generally have restricted and repetitive behavior. A lot of the time it is a calming mechanism, something that grounds them and, regulates them back. So the hyperactivity we may just need to find a way to do it at more appropriate time, right? As well as giving, you are calm now for class, and after class you will get to do this, right? So we have to come up with strategic ways and be consistent with applying those treatment measures.
Yes. Now, interestingly, you said that hyperactivity, for example, is not necessarily a bad thing. What are the positives, if any, associated with autism? Is there a positive spin on it?
Well, the thing with autism spectrum disorder is that it's a spectrum. It's a wide range of different symptoms. And so my child's positive traits may not be the same as another child or another parent's experience. But one thing I can tell you about my child and others that I have experienced that are on the spectrum, he's very affectionate, right? And I think he's now at a point where he's aware that he doesn't pick up on social cues the way others do, or his sister does. And so he tries to really pay attention to the detail, and he will ask me if I'm sad, or he tries to construct a sentence, "Where are you sad?" And I know that he means, "Why are you sad?" So he's taking, an interest in asking, "How do you feel?" or give you a hug. Sometimes he will meet somebody and he doesn't know them. It's not somebody that's really age appropriate, but he asks them for a hug. So there's an innocence in it that kind of warms the heart, and it makes you reflect on the neurotypical society and wonder, are we too disjointed or harsh with each other sometimes? Because when I look at him walking up to a stranger and saying hi or hug, it's something that he sees as him being nice, but it might, in today's society, it might be dangerous. It might be something that I ought to discourage. But that line.
How old is your child, Mrs. Price Robinson?
My child is going to be 4 next month. He's 3, 4 in a month. And he is adjusting. He's made a lot of improvements since his diagnosis at age 2.
How has that impacted you as a parent?
Oh, wow. I can tell you it was not easy to accept. I've said this before, that I had to mold the child that I thought I had in order to accept the one that I do have, right? The expectations that I had for my child, some of them may have to be adjusted, and I had to let that go. Holding on to that expectation felt unhealthy after his diagnosis, because I had to come to terms that some of these things he may not be able to achieve, but as well as he could go even beyond that, because that's the unique thing with the spectrum, right? There is nothing set in stone that he will not be able to do these things, and he will be able to do these things. So accepting him for who he is and what he could do was a struggle initially, but I just reconstructed my mindset and went to what do I need to do to support him, right? So it does help that I have friends and family who try to, understand how to deal with him and how to encourage him and how to support him in a positive way.
So Mrs. Price, you never get angry with him yet?
Of course. Well, my son, he initially was a hitter.
Hitter?
He hits.
Okay.
Right? I have scratches on my hands now. That from their heel, but the marks are still there. Several. One on both my hands, in my chest, and my daughter has had several bruises. Right? And so, of course, when that is happening repeatedly, it's not even just anger. It's this fear that I felt because I felt like I was being abused by my child, and I don't know what to do about it. Right? The behavior intervention helped with that. But before he was able to get into that, I felt like I was backed into a corner. I don't know what to do. Hitting him back does not help. He is aggressive, so it will only escalate the situation, and so we had to develop strategies to help calm him and calm him down and stuff like that. But it hurt emotionally and physically, and every time I saw it I would cry, and these are the things that my friends and my family would know, because I don't put this off on people all the time. It's a lot to process, it's a lot to feel, and some of the things when you say what you really want to say, it's so bad for a parent to say that, I feel this way because of my child. It don't sound good, so you keep it to yourself, and you know that this too shall pass, this feeling will pass. It is rough at times, even though sometimes we have meltdowns in like the supermarket because it's just too much happening around and he wants to be involved with everything, but it's gonna create chaos. And when I try to restrain him, it creates, a scene, and it's embarrassing sometimes because people are judgmental, they look the stairs and nobody tries to help or assist. Let me lift him up off the ground or something. Everybody stares, and the judgment, the tone of, like it's just something that I'm like, it gives you the feeling like you're the worst parent in the world because your child is crying on the ground or something. It doesn't come to anybody's mind that this child is neurodivergent. This child may be on the spectrum because society really doesn't know about that.
Yes. Tell you what, we are only about a minute. Speak now to the listening audience as a parent of an autistic child. Quickly, what are some of your words of advice, guidance, progression? 1 minute.
For the parent out there who has an autistic child and has not taken any step yet, there is hope. Don't give up. Reach out to the community of parents who are experiencing this with you. We do have a WhatsApp support group. Contact JAFA and they will direct you, Jamaica Autism Support Association. And for those in society who don't have a child on the spectrum, but you may be exposed to a child, it's so many children out there with neurodivergent traits, ADHD, ASD, all these things. Try to be a little bit more sensitive when you see a child on the road and the child is crying and the parent seems frustrated. Sometimes offer a kind word instead of a look of disdain. Sometimes just a word helps to motivate me, or a parent or somebody else saying, "It's all right, mommy, just go and hold him," or something. I had a gentleman race my son, chase him down for me and grab him because I couldn't, and it really,
so sorry.
did something for me.
So sorry with this price.
Understanding.
Yes, we have to leave it here. Thank you so very much for joining us this morning. And thanks for being obviously a good parent. And our continued prayers and support are with you going forward with your children. God bless you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here.
Great. Thank you, listeners, for being with us. Join us again tomorrow as we continue to set the stage for discussion of topical and controversial issues. For information or get copies of this program, call our production department at 876-968-9596-7. This, of course, has been the Morning Watch. Thanks to producer Kathy Gale and our guests. I'm Toussaint. I'm you back to Love in the Morning with Jakarta.